service to our community, American.
Beth, that sounded like Debbie Blackerby.
It was Debbie. I've got both of you up simultaneously. So you are live and ready to go, ladies. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Wendy, you want to kick it off?
Sure. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about sellers coverage today. We really appreciate you joining us. And before we get started, we always love to go around and find out a little bit about you and who you are, what office you're out of, and something fun like, what are you doing for 4th of July, or what's your favorite 4th of July tradition? And I will start with my Hollywood Squares with Jose up in the top left.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, I just wanted to find out what office you're in, how many years you've been in the business, and if there's anything fun that you like to do 4th of July weekend.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm in the Westlake office. I've only had my license for a month now.
Oh, awesome.
Honestly, I'm not sure what we're doing this weekend. Maybe some pool time, but that's probably it.
Pool's going to be a good place to be because it's going to be super hot, I'm sure. All right. Next up on the list, thank you, Jose, is Saul Romero.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hello.
And Saul, how many years or months have you been in the business?
I just activated right now. I get my license on the middle of the pandemic, May last year, and I just activated with JB Goodwin, and I am on Round Rock office.
Awesome. Anything? Do you like to do anything for 4th of July?
I just try maybe cook out in the backyard with my family.
That sounds good too. We're going to definitely do that. Thanks, Saul.
Thank you.
All right, Samantha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha. I'm with the Wilco office. I've been with JB for 6 months now, and I will only be eating and reading, and not necessarily in that order.
That also sounds really good.
Samantha, I love your Bitmoji.
It's very cute.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ophelia, what about you?
Let me see if I can figure this out. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm at the Westlake office, going on 6 years. I'm also a part-time pharmacist, and that's where I'm at today, actually working. My kids are coming home. I've got 3 kids, and they are all in the Dallas area, and they're actually coming Friday. So, yay, I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be fun. Family time. I like it. Thanks, Ophelia.
Of course. Thank you.
And thank you for what you do. Carlin.
Hello, this is Carlin. I'm with the Westlake office. I've had my license for a little over a year. And on 4th of July, we have a cute parade in our neighborhood. We usually participate in that. We've got a family coming over for a cookout, and then we'll probably, depending on crowds, try to catch fireworks. That's our usual on the 4th of July.
Sounds good. Thanks, Carlin. Maria?
Hi, everyone. I'm at the Westlake office, and I've been with JB Goodwin for about a month. And this 4th of July, I plan on doing a lot of reading and studying and else. Honestly, fireworks, that's always fun.
Fireworks, yes. Thank you, Maria. Doug, what about you, sir?
Hi, everyone. I'm also at the Westlake office. I've been with JB Goodwin for about a month and a half, so I'm still going through the training process. I live here in Bastrop, and Bastrop has a lot of like little hometown type events that they do, and they're doing fireworks display and stuff like that. So that's what we're planning on going to. That was one of the things that attracted us to Bastrop, was all the little local hometown type events. You know, they have a Christmas parade and stuff like that. So it's really neat. any of you ever get a chance to come out and experience one, it's pretty awesome.
Well, it sounds like that's the place to be for 4th of July. You may be sorry you told us. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. All right, Holly, last but not least. Oh, sorry, Holly, you joined on late. We're just going around telling our name, what office we're out of, how long you've been in real estate, and something fun you like to do for 4th of July, if any. Well, you might be having trouble. I saw you took yourself off mute. Well, we're glad to have you, Holly. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, mic went out, can't fix. No problem, no problem. All right, so I didn't introduce myself. I'm Wendy Bailey, and we also have Mary Ellen Schmidt. Oh, Northwest office. Awesome. How many years in real estate? I'll just keep letting her respond via message. Uh-oh. No delay. Okay. 3 months. Okay. Awesome. Y'all are go-getters for getting on this class, learning as much as possible. That's great. That's the way to be. I know you're drinking from a fire hose right now, those who are new, and it's good to get as much information as possible when you first get started. Because when you get busy, sometimes it's hard to send on these classes, right, Ophelia? So I'm Wendy Bailey. I've been with American Home Shield for about a year now. Prior to that, I was with Getty Coolers, and prior to that in real estate like yourself. And like I said, I've been for 1 year, and I'll let Mary Ellen introduce herself as well. Take it away.
Hi, thanks so much for being here, guys. I'm Mary Ellen Schmidt. I've been with American Home Shield forever and a day. So we'll just say a long, long time. Longer than some of y'all have even been alive. So my previous experience was a very short stint with the legislature and with the lobbyist. And then I've been with American Home Shield for 35 years since then. So a long, long time. I'm excited for the 4th because I feel like we missed the 4th last year. So it'll be fun to kind of catch up on the 4th. We're going out with some friends on a pontoon boat to see the fireworks out at the lake. So we're looking forward to that. So, and just so y'all know, because I noticed a lot of y'all are from the Westlake office, Michelle Bittner is our account manager that works the Westlake office. And we kind of divide up the JB Goodwin offices, or I should say we used to. Now that Wendy is here, we just all work together as a team. So some of y'all may know Michelle. She has worked that Westlake office for many, many years. And she is literally on her way home from a previous meeting so that she can hop on this call. So she'll jump on as soon as she can, and you'll see her face too. But we'll put all of our contact information in the chat so that you'll have it. And we look forward to hearing from you. So Wendy, I'll hand it back to you.
Great. Thank you. So today we're talking mostly about seller's coverage. And in order to understand seller's coverage, though, I feel like we first need to do a refresher on buyer's coverage. That way, when we get to seller's coverage, it'll make a lot more sense. And for some of you that are new, you may have taken our intro class, or you may be taking that upcoming. So this will kind of give you either a refresher or a glimpse into home warranties and what that looks like. So on the buyer side, let me pull up this. Let me see if I can share my screen with you guys. I'm going to pull up the brochure and kind of go over that with you real quick. Let's see. Sometimes we're really good at this, and sometimes, let's see. Ah, did it work?
There you go.
Perfect. Great. All right. So what we're looking at here is on the buyer side, we have 3 levels of coverage. We have the Shield Essential, the Shield Plus, and the Shield Complete. And the Shield Essential is the same coverage that we do use for seller's coverage. It covers your major systems. So we're talking about air conditioning, heating, plumbing, ductwork, electrical, water heaters, all of those good things that, you know, can and will give you trouble and go out. Then we step it up to Shield Plus, which covers appliances as well. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. And you can see that it also covers washer, dryer, refrigerator, which is, even if the homeowner brings those with them, those are covered. Shield Complete covers all of those things that Shield Plus covers. And then it also adds in ceiling fans, doorbells, garage door openers, whole attic fans. The main thing that I really love about Shield Complete is it has unlimited refrigerant coverage. So anytime you're adding refrigerant, or also known as Freon, to any AC system, which in Texas seems like we often need Freon and refrigerant a lot here, that is covered unlimited on that Shield Complete plan. Down here. And all of those, you know, we cover those due to old age. A lot of people will ask us, do you have any limits on age on what you cover? We do not. There's no limit on age. Lack of maintenance, rust, corrosion, sediment, undetectable pre-existing conditions, mismatched systems, and then we'll even cover removal of defective equipment, refrigerant, recapture, reclaim, and disposal, and some of the permits. We'll cover up to $250 for code violations and permits on that. And then getting coverage is easy. It's pretty much the same as what you would do on the seller's coverage. You basically email us, you can enter that. And I'm going to show you later how to enter the orders, which is really helpful. We have a really nice site called pro.ahs where you can go and enter orders. And that's, like I said, it makes it easy. Discount for agents. Okay, great. Yeah, and Holly brings up that if you want to cover your own home, we do have discounts for that. And I can go over that in a little bit more detail later as well. One of the things I forgot to cover, I'm going to stop sharing this thing here. So that's kind of the buyer's coverage in a nutshell. And the way it works is if the homeowner has a claim, they will go online or they will call in and place that claim. They pay a $75 service fee. That's one of the great things. Is a $75 service fee is a low cost, just to have somebody come out there and take a look. And then once the contractor will make an appointment with the homeowner, and then they will come out and they will, you know, assess the system and see if it needs to be repaired or replaced, or, you know, make sure that it's covered. And then if it is, then they'll go ahead and get approval to do that. Then they'll repair or replace whatever is necessary, and then everybody moves on their way. I often call it a marriage saver because my husband and I, it seems like we're always arguing over who's going to fix what and what company we're going to use and who's going to research all the companies and figure out which one is the best one. You don't have to do any of this with the coverage. It's already done for you. We've already vetted the contractors. We've already got the best pricing. All you have to do is go online or pick up the phone. So it's really great. Does anybody have any questions for me about buyer's coverage? Or Mary Ellen, you have anything to add that I didn't cover on that one?
I was just going to remind everybody that the coverage does start date of closing, which is important because many of our claims happen right after closing. So the buyer is covered from the date of closing for the first year, and then the policy is renewable each year after that first year.
Very good point.
So we think it's important to understand the buyer coverage before we go into seller coverage, because it's kind of a building block. So that's why we wanted to hit on the buyer coverage first.
Oh, somebody raise their hand.
Maria?
Maria, go ahead.
Yes, so it starts from coverage starts from the closing. If there's comes up that is considered an issue that was before the buyer purchased the home, is it retroactive that covered? Like,
So I think this is what you're asking. So if it is a known condition, Maria, like say that you guys had the inspection done prior to closing and the inspector said, yes, this water heater definitely needs to be replaced. That would be something that is a known issue that would not be covered. If let's go backwards again. If the inspector said the hot water heater is fine and great, and then after closing that hot water heater breaks, and it was something that happened before closing, but it was unknown to the seller or to the buyer. I mean, the buyer had the inspection done and nothing came up. That would be covered. So the keyword there is unknown previous conditions. Does that make sense?
that makes sense, yes.
Okay.
And Maria, the way we define known problem is if you can visually see that there's a problem or a simple mechanical test. So for instance, with the dishwasher, if you turn the dishwasher on and it's not running through all the cycles, that's a known problem.
Very good.
Great question.
All right. I think Jose raised his hand as well. Go ahead, Jose.
Hey, yeah. So, is there a place where I can find the introduction class?
So that's in the Square One training. So have you participated in the Square One yet?
No, I'm scheduled for it next month, but I have a buyer right now. We just finished option period, and I'm a little confused on the warranty part.
Yeah, you know what, Jose, just call us offline and we'll be glad to go through it in detail with you. We do a presentation for a training opportunity during Square One. So we'll go through the plan in more detail at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us via email or phone. We're more than happy to help you answer any questions. Sometimes we talk to buyers directly if they have a lot of questions, which sometimes they do. We're more than happy to answer any questions they have. Anybody else got anything before we move on? No? Do you want to cover seller's coverage and then I'll cover entering into pro?
You bet. So how the seller coverage works, and guys, this is just such an incredible bonus plan that we really thought it was important to talk to y'all kind of early on in your career, because when you first hear about it, it sounds too good to be true. And until you've actually used it and you've kind of seen it in action, sometimes it doesn't really click. So we're hoping that we can talk about it early on and you'll see it, you'll talk to the other agents and you'll say, yeah, that makes sense. This is just an automatic. So here's how seller coverage works. We understand that the warranty is here for the buyer. The warranty is here as a risk management program to protect that buyer for the first year after closing. So what seller coverage does is when you take a listing, you could have that seller protected through American Home Shield while you are marketing that home. Okay, Jose, I'm going to use you as an example. You have a property on 123 Avenue A, and you've listed that property today. That seller can get American Home Shield coverage starting today through the listing period up until the day of closing. The seller coverage works like this. Jose orders the coverage. American Home Shield protects that property, that seller, on the major systems. So we cover Jose's property, that 123 Avenue A, for AC, heat, plumbing, electrical, and water heater. So it's the Shield Essential Plan. Jose's seller is covered during the listing period while he's marketing their home and getting it sold and closed. So during the listing period, if the water heater at that property breaks, that seller calls American Home Shield, pays the $75 service fee or deductible or copay. American Home Shield takes care of the repair or the replacement. There may be some non-covered charges that the seller may have to participate in, but we're going to take care of the bulk of that repair or replacement. So it can save the seller money. Jose has not gotten that property sold yet. So we're protecting that house while he is marketing and getting it sold and closed. Okay? So the seller pays what when they need service? How much do they pay? Somebody?
I don't understand.
So the seller pays a deductible of $75 if they need service during the listing period, right?
Correct.
So Jose, that water heater went out on 123 Avenue A, they pay that $75. We're covering that property, AC, heat, plumbing, electrical, and water heater. The maximum coverage that we will provide during the listing period is $2,000. Because what is the seller paid to us for the cost of the warranty? What have they paid to us?
Is it just $75 or is there an additional cost?
All they're going to do is pay $75 when they need service. But what have they paid us for the cost of the contract, or the cost of the coverage, I should say? They've paid us $0.
Nice.
Because all Jose did was sign them up. There's no payment made at the time that he signs them up. They're only going to pay that $75 when they need service. Okay? Now, Jose hopefully gets that home sold quickly, but it's still going to take a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks before it actually closes, right? So that property is still exposed, meaning there are things that can still break in that property before closing. And let me tell you that the day before closing, the last thing your seller wants is to have to take care of a major repair or replacement, because they're getting ready to move out of that house and the buyer doesn't want to take care of it because it's not legally their home yet. And unfortunately, what happens many times is both agents come together and they end up taking care of that repair just so the property gets to closing. That's what we commonly refer to as a commissionectomy. Okay, not much fun. So this coverage protects the seller during the listing period. Now, in a different market, that listing period may be 6 months. It may be 8 months, 12 months. I know it's hard for y'all to understand that, but that does happen in certain markets. Okay. So we're protecting that property all of that time. Then what happens is the buyer comes in at the time the contract is done, and the buyer says, yes, we want a home warranty. In Section 7H, they write in a dollar amount into the contract that the seller's going to pay for the buyer's coverage. That buyer is then asking the seller to pay for the American Home Shield warranty starting on the day of closing. And it will cover that buyer for 1 full year. That's what we just went over. Wendy just went over those buyer plans. Okay? But Jose has coverage with American Home Shield on that property. So Jose can tell the other agent, hey, we've got American Home Shield on this property. Does your buyer want American Home Shield? If so, we'll just transfer that coverage at closing. Now, when I say transfer, that means Jose's seller is going to pay for the warranty for the buyer because that's all in the contract. And then the buyer coverage starts date of closing and lasts for 1 year. even if we had coverage on that property for Jose for 6 months and then it closed, that buyer still gets 1 full year of coverage because the buyer is asking for that policy in the contract. Does that make sense?
So at that moment, when it transfers over, how much does the buyer pay into it?
So normally in that situation, Maria, the buyer is not going to pay anything. The seller is the one who is providing the warranty, because in section 7H of your sales contract, it says residential service contracts, and there's a blank in there, and you write a dollar amount into that blank. That says the seller is paying for the warranty for the buyer.
So does the seller at that time pay the contract amount, the $2,000? Is it $2,000 or?
No, but here's what happens is if the buyer chooses American Home Shield, which we hope they do, then we charge $75 for the listing coverage. So Jose's seller will pay for the coverage for the buyer plus $75 for the listing coverage. That listing coverage of $75, that is due whether the listing was on the market for 2 days or for 18 months. Okay, just remember that seller coverage is $75. It is only paid when American Home Shield is chosen by the buyer. So if for some reason we cover Jose's listing on 123 Avenue A for 6 months, and the buyer comes in and they say, hey, we have to have company XYZ as our home warranty, then Jose's seller pays American Home Shield nothing. Even if we took care of their water heater during the listing period.
Understood.
Okay, so this is where it sounds too good to be true, because guys, I'm telling you,
Yes.
every one of your listings should have coverage on there. You do not want your seller to find out after they've put in a new water heater that they could have had American Home Shield coverage on there that would have helped them with that expense. That is not a good conversation to have with the seller. You want to make sure that they're aware up front that the warranty is there to protect them. And I'll just tell you up front, very honestly, a lot of agents pay for that $75. It's only paid at closing when American Home Shield is chosen by the buyer. What's $75? It's protecting your seller during that listing period. So it's really kind of, I hear, in fact, I just heard it this morning. Another agent said it's a no-brainer. So make sure that your listings are protected, whether it sells in 24 hours or 24 days or 18 months. Make sure that that listing is protected.
Yeah, and just one thing I wanted to add, Mary Ellen, it really does set you apart from other agents in the field, makes you look more knowledgeable, and it gives you that kind of one leg up, if you will, some feature that's not off that you're offering that another agent's not offering. So as a new agent, that is huge, you know, to show that you're knowledgeable, and also that you care about your clients and that you're willing to put that listing coverage on there and pay for that. It really means a lot to sellers.
Questions that you guys have, and Michelle, I see you joined us. Welcome. So questions you guys have about listing coverage. Does it make sense? Is it sinking in?
About as good as someone hearing it for pretty much the first time, yes.
Mary Ellen, do you want me to share that slide that has the recap on it too?
That'd be great, because I think that's a good review.
Just to clarify, so that $75, so at closing, if the buyer opts out, then that $75 is not paid by the seller?
Correct.
Oh, how about the agent? Are they required to pay that? Okay.
No, there's no $75 paid for the coverage unless American Home Shield is chosen by the buyer.
That is something that can be disclosed by the seller to the buyer as for them.
The seller can say, yes, we're providing this coverage for the buyer.
Okay, good.
And the reason we only charge it if American Home Shield is chosen, and Wendy will show you that here in a little bit when we show you how to order the coverage, is because we have to attach it to a buyer plan. So if the buyer doesn't choose American Home Shield, then we don't charge it at all. And then I think there was another question. Let me answer that one real quick before we go into that. And I just clicked on the wrong thing. What was the question? Oh, if no claim. So the $75 is due whether there is a claim or not. That $75 is our exposure for protecting that property during the listing period. So if the buyer chooses American Home Shield, we tack on that $75. So this slide that Wendy has pulled up right now is just kind of a recap of seller coverage. And I think it's helpful. And we'll shoot this out to everybody too when we follow up with an email. It just shows that seller's coverage is the Shield Essential Plan. So remember, it's AC, heat, water heater, electrical and plumbing. And there's a $2,000 cap on that coverage. Because really, you're paying $75 for $2,000 worth of coverage. That's a pretty good bet. Okay. Seller coverage can start as soon as that listing agreement is signed. And I'll say, honestly, guys, people will say, well, can I put the coverage on? And it's coming soon. It's going to be on in the next week. Sure. Get it signed up. You know, that's not a problem. We're not going to ask for a copy of the listing agreement. If you know for sure that it's going to be on coming really quickly, just get it on there. Okay. As we said, the home is covered until the listing closes. If the listing is still on the market up to 6 months, just let us know. We can extend it. $75 is due for each claim. That's the deductible trade service fee, copay, whatever you want to call it. And here's the fun part. If the buyer does not choose American Home Shield at closing, nothing's paid, even if there was a claim. Okay, all they're out is that $75 copay. If the buyer does choose American Home Shield as their warranty of choice, which we hope they do, then the $75 is added to the buyer plan.
Mary, I have a question.
Yes,
I just joined late, but I do have a current listing.
Okay.
And we're looking at doing the open house after 4th of July. What do I need to do to get in contact with you guys so that I can get the coverage on this listing that I just got about 2 weeks ago?
So I would say make sure you do it today, because the sooner the better. You want to make sure that you sign that seller up now so that they're covered. Okay. And
Okay.
Wendy, you want to go ahead into the pro site?
Yeah, absolutely.
And neighbor, if you want to, all you have to do is email one of us or text one of us. We need the property address and the seller's name, and we can get that ordered for you. And then Wendy's going to show you how to do it too on our site.
Okay, my email it's Nabor. I'm sorry, ncortez@jbgoodman.com, and the property address is 199 Martha Lane, Isle, Texas, 78640.
And what's the seller's name?
David and Vanessa Clear, Clear.
We'll get it signed up today, and you'll get a confirmation email. In fact, Wendy, you want to just put that one in on the pro side?
We'll go ahead and do it right now. That's a good idea. Okay, let me see if I can. There we go. All right, I'm going to share that screen. Did it come up?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So unfortunately, I was already signed in, so it won't let me into the sign-in page. And on the sign-in page, it gives you the opportunity to create an account. And that's probably what most of you will be doing, is creating an account. So the web address is just pro.ahs.com. So pro.ahs.com. And then you'll sign up for a new account with your email and a password. And then you'll be ready to place orders.
Okay.
So you can
Well,
see
they'll
it.
need to, I want to add to that, Wendy, if I could. So make sure and add yourself to the appropriate office.
Yes.
So once you've, like Wendy said, exactly right. Once you've signed in and created your username is your email address and password is whatever you create. I think it's 8 of something. And then from there, associate yourself with the office that you work out of. Sorry.
Yes, that's very important. Sorry about that. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate you jumping in there.
Sure.
So placing an order is super easy. In fact, I've had a title agent, several title agents, not just one, tell me, y'all have the easiest order placing website ever. We love it. So here we go. To place the order, we're going to click this button right here. It's going to come up and it wants the agent information. So I'm not sure that I've ordered. What office are you out of, Nabor? Am I still here?
I think he's muted.
Okay.
Give him a second.
I think he's Round Rock. Go ahead and just choose that one.
Okay. So we'll choose Round Rock.
It's Northwest office. I'm sorry.
It's Northwest. Okay.
Body sharing.
I may
one
have
out of 3 chances.
Let's see. That's the only thing. No. Sometimes it wants a space. I don't.
Here it is.
Oh, did you see it?
No, I thought it was in there, but it's not.
It's not. I'll have to go. What's the zip code for the Northwest?
78759.
I'm a newbie, so I haven't ordered any orders for them.
There it is, right there.
Spec. There we go. Choose the office.
It's 3933 Stack Avenue.
Why is it not coming up?
B110.
I think you have to put a space in between.
Yeah, between the J and the B. Yeah.
All right, one more time. 78759.
Uh-huh.
There it is. I don't know why it didn't choose it last time. There
That's
we go.
it.
Choose office. And it's thinking about it, maybe.
So of course, when we're live with it, it's not going to work,
Of course. Let me refresh my screen and see if it just needs a refresh. All right, let's try it again. Nope. All right.
Space.
It's not bad to have an issue. That way everybody knows, just keep trying. Go space.
That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Yep, I'll choose that one. Everyone sees I'm choosing it, right? Choose office. There it goes. Yeah, populated. Yay. All right.
He's new.
He's new. All right, we're gonna add you in here. What's your phone number?
956 444 2323.
All right, and I've already got your email address. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Continue. All right, so you are representing the seller.
Right.
If you're entering a buyer order, it's here. If you're doing both, be there. All right, then the property address. And that was in Kyle
78640.
40. That's Martha 199 Martha Street
Lane.
Kyle, Texas. It's going to automatically populate for you there. This unit number would be if you were entering a condo or possibly a townhome might have a unit number. That would go there. Oh, I entered the address perfectly. Sometimes if you don't, it'll ask you, hey, is this what you meant to put? And it's yes. And a lot of times it'll already pull up the type of residence that it is, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the drop-down menu so you can see there's condo, townhome, duplex, triplex, fourplex, and mobile home. And we can put listing coverage on all of these types of homes. And then we also cover homes that are up to 5,000 square feet. And then from 5,000 to 999. If it's 10,000 and over, we don't cover it. Bless you, whoever just
Sorry.
MLS number is not necessary, but if you would like to enter it in there, that is great. Looking here, whether it's new construction for listing coverage, you're probably not going to have a brand new home.
I do have an MLS number, but
oh, you do? Okay.
Give me a second. Go grab it.
Okay. Actually saying that it is new construction. One thing I'll point out while I was looking for that, as you can see up here, clear info. It's a nice little thing. If you get to the bottom and you're like, oh, none of this is right, I'm going to re-enter that. Always gives you the clear info, or you can just cancel out. And you can also go back and edit before you save.
The listing ID is 4108968.
Perfect. All right, we're going to save. And we've got seller information here.
The system may crash, Nabor, because I don't think I have ever put in a listing coverage and had an MLS number. Because I'll tell you that I put the minimum amount in.
Do you? All right. Well, we'll see. And then, Nabor, we typically just put in your information for the seller's info, but if you want to have their email or phone number, we can put that in here.
Their email, it's a strange email, but I do have their phone number.
Okay, I am ready.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so there a number, it's 210-202-6459.
Perfect. And if you only have one piece of information on this one, you can enter it all in one line if they have the same last name. If not, you can also include co-seller if you'd like, and that'll pop up. Like if Vanessa had a different phone number we wanted to add or email address, we can put it there. Only the first name is going to show up on the contract. I'll show you that, and some people will get confused. So I typically, if they had the same last name, I put them together up here. Same. All right. We don't have a buyer yet, so we're going to say no.
We have about 3 bites so far, but we're waiting until the open house.
Great. Yeah. So if and when you get a contract and the buyer, well, not when, it's if you get a contract and the buyer decides they want American Home Shield, you would just come back in here and do an edit, and you could choose yes, and then you put in the information.
Okay.
It's a great question. So this is the part that gets people a little confused. So we do include seller's coverage option. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're doing seller's coverage. Select home buyers coverage. It wants you to go ahead and proactively choose the home buyers coverage. So you have to enter it when you're entering the seller's coverage. It doesn't mean that the buyer is going to choose American Home Shield. This is kind of a proactive, we hope they choose American Home Shield. So basically, and what we're doing here is just a confirmation. This is not an invoice or a bill. Think of it as just a confirmation. So there's no money due, even though there is a dollar amount here. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I always just choose Shield Essential. This does not change the seller's coverage at all. Seller's coverage is always Shield Essential. So now you can also, if we were in a different market, typically when you put seller's coverage on the home, you can talk to your seller about what kind of level of coverage they would like to offer the buyer. So that way when negotiations come, you already know, what they want to do. So you could ask them, do you want to offer Shield Essential, Shield Plus, or Shield Complete if the buyer wants American Home Shield? And you could, choose the correct and optimal one here. Make sense? I don't choose any optional coverages unless I know for sure that that's going to be something that they're going to be offering as well. And then I'm going to press save. And then we're going to press submit order. And that's the contract number. Yay. And then we can do send documents straight from here. So confirmation, I usually send it to myself. I'm going to send it to you as well, Nabor. So you'll have it. There's no invoice at this point, as you can see, only a confirmation. So like we said in the training, there's no money due at this time. Any money due is going to be due at closing. And then done.
So I should get that. Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. I went through that kind of quick. Does anybody have any questions, or you have another one you want entered?
Well, I'm glad I joined because I had seen this as part of my training, and I saw it again. And since I had mentioned this to the seller at the time that we met for our presentation listing, I share it with my wife right now. I said I need to review it because I don't remember the plans or anything like that. But I wasn't expecting this where I could get them covered until it sells, which hopefully it'll be in 2 weeks. And that way we have it also available in case whoever put whatever offer is selected has the option to continue it or not.
Yes, absolutely. And your seller is covered up to the day of closing. And then if the buyer chooses American Home Shield, they would be covered on day of closing.
Okay. And the only thing that we would be due at closing would be the $75 if they continue with that?
$75 from your seller. And if they agree to pay, say they agree to pay that $450 Shield Essential for the next buyers that come along, it would be the 75 plus the 450. So it'd be 525 total. Does that make sense?
Let me write those figures down. It would be the 75 plus the 450.
Yes, if they choose Shield Essential. I mean, they can offer whatever level they want.
Yeah.
They can offer the middle of the road, which covers the appliances, the Shield Plus, which would be 575 plus the 75.
Okay. I don't see them wanting to offer it, but I will mention it to them. And then if I want to cover the $75 at the closing, how do I stipulate that on my listing agreement that's already been signed? Do I have to list it in one of the sections there? This is my very first listing, so I'm totally training work behind the ears.
No, that's great, and congratulations on that first listing. So I'll just jump in, and the $75 is going to be tacked on to whatever the buyer plan is. So if the buyer says, hey, we want $575 worth of coverage, and that's going to be negotiated in the contract, because in section 7H of the contract, that's where it talks about residential service contracts. So if the buyer puts a dollar amount in there, the $75 is going to be added to whatever that dollar amount is.
Okay.
Because typically the warranty is paid for by the seller. Now, guys, we understand that we're not in a typical market, and many times the warranty is being paid for by the buyer. So it gets sometimes the negotiations can change a little bit. Just call us if you have questions about that. But typically the warranty is paid for by the seller for the buyer. So when you put it on for your listing, the seller is saying, hey, we will provide this warranty to the future buyer. So that listing coverage is that bonus added on to the buyer coverage. And that's why at the first we went through the buyer coverage, because it is important to understand this is something that the seller is going to provide to the future buyer.
But if it's not, then I guess you just answered my question, because you said then it'll be something that'll be on the offer, on the buyer's offer document that says we want the warranty covered by the, and then
Right.
that's the
And
negotiation part. Okay.
Yeah, and if they don't ask for that, then it's just going to cancel out, and there won't be any coverage from there. And Nabor, if the buyer does want coverage with American Home Shield and you want to pay the $75, just let title company know,
Okay.
because what happens is we're going to send the invoice to title, and
Okay.
they're just going to have to figure out who's paying for what. So just let them know that you want to pay for that.
Yeah, and we've selected Austin Title already in the listing contract.
Great.
Perfect.
As our preference, and so but we're not at that point yet until we have the offer.
Perfect.
And if you want to include that in your listing agreement, that would be something I would talk to someone at the JB office about, is where to include that. You know, I'm going to pay for the $75 listing coverage or seller's coverage. If you want to include that in your listing agreement.
I'll ask my coach where that would go.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So everyone's going to go online and sign up for that pro.ahs.com account right now. You guys want to do it while you have me here so you can answer, I can answer any questions that you have?
I was trying to do it, but I don't have the zip code.
Oh, you're trying to enter some listing coverage right now?
I'm trying to register first.
Oh, okay. What zip code are you looking for?
Wilco.
It's 78664. I think.
Sounds right. That's a Round Rock zip code. It might be 665.
Yeah, hang on. I'll tell you. Hang on.
Well, it listed a bunch of them, but not the ones that I want.
You have to do J space B.
Oh, that's why I put the J and the B together.
Yeah.
See, some have it together and some have it separate. So I don't know why that is.
Thank you. I found it.
Yay.
We're about up at our time limit. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Do I still need to create my account with you guys?
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Unless you want to just send them to me, I'm happy to order them for you. But we do encourage you to go ahead and get an account set up. It's just so easy for you to put them in. And that way we like to know where the business is coming from. Sometimes title will say, oh, we'll order that for the buyer. We really encourage you to either send them to us or you put them in yourself, because title doesn't know the property as well as you do.
I'll do that. I already have the open window ready to go.
Good. All right, we will follow up with everyone on this call with an email, and we'll attach that seller coverage review sheet, and we'll also attach the American Home Shield information, the brochure and the pricing sheet, so that you'll have that. Please save it in your files. You'll have it in your internal system, but that way you may have it saved differently. And we look forward to working with each one of you. Please know that we're a part of your team. We are the preferred provider for home warranties for JB Goodwin. We've worked with JB for, I know my 35 years, so a long, long time, had a long-standing relationship with JB and all of his offices. So we look forward to working with you. And if we can help you in any way, please reach out to one of us, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.